Assalamualaikum, and my name is Rosnani binti Shuaib. I'm from Master of Software Engineering from University of Putra, Malaysia. And today I'm presenting on topic towards adopting software quality assurance in Agile development methodology. Okay, quality assurance involves tasks to evaluate software products for conformance against the established software requirements. Agile software development methodology focuses on frequent delivery through light and fast development cycle while adapting customers' requirements changes. The software product is developed through a few iterations and delivered incrementally. Thus, it is needed to assure that the developed product increment meets the requirements as well as to inform the requirements for the next increment and iteration planning that might also evolve. It's also to ensure that the quality is encountered earlier before the final product delivered. Unlike Agile, the comprehensive documentation throughout the development lifecycle of traditional software development methodology has made in adopting quality assurance easier. Despite its advantages, there are many studies highlight quality-related issues and obstacles in Agile, especially in customer involvement. Why customer involvement? Because it is important in Agile where they need to assess conformance of the product or increment. This can be done through prototyping and review as part of the quality assurance strategies. So our work focuses on review process as a channel to adopt quality assurance in Agile to improve software quality. Scrum methodology was chosen as an exemplar to discuss the issues and challenges of Agile methodology for this study. Okay, we talk about Scrum methodology. Scrum works in an iterative and incremental manner where the customers and development team are working together closely. Customers' feedback is valuable input for decision making. Customers give their feedbacks mostly through review meetings, and a product will be developed from few iterations called as sprint. A review process will be carried out at the end of iteration when a product increment is ready for release. Okay, this is the example, the diagram for Agile Scrum software development methodology. Okay, in Agile Scrum, customers review the product increment, give comment, and determine the acceptance level of a product increment, whether to accept, reject, or request for a change. Commonly, product owner as a customer representative that involved in the iteration, and also the product owner who is the one who manage all the feedback gathered from customers. There are 4 round level of decision making need to be made by product owner at every single iteration, which are iteration planning, iteration execution, iteration review, iteration retrospective. If poor decision in this process can result in code backlogs and incomplete work bugs and inaccurate estimation. So we found that there are obstacles to adopt quality assurance mechanism in Scrum's review process from our literature review. It can be summarized as these 2 obstacles, which are the late validation. Because of the availability of customer for validation and verification of product increment and requirements for next iteration are crucial. This is because the customer feedback is important for decision making, so it is crucial to make the customer available. Unavailability of customer in the review process will cause late validation since multiple iterations pending for customers' feedback. Another obstacle is the ineffective way of getting feedback. Feedback from customers should be gathered within stipulated time, but yet gathering and managing the feedback are tedious. Thus, if the communication medium used to collect and the process of gathering the individual feedback are ineffective, will cause the increase of overhead and response time for overall validation process. Because of these 2 obstacles, it leads to excessive changes, and there's a lot of improvement needed on product increment due to requirement or scope changes, and so it can lead to too many adjustment and development work required for next iteration, and this including to prioritize requirement and to identify requirements changes and its dependency. So the main measure needs to be considered in adopting quality assurance in the Scrum review process are the customer availability, in which we have to ensure that the customer are available and able to give feedback within the specified time. The product owner must be able to gather feedbacks collectively from the customers to determine the successful implementation of a product increment. And then the next measure is the communication medium. Adequate coordination between the team, especially product owner and distributed customer, is important. An appropriate framework of communication medium for collaboration is also needed to capture and compile the feedback attributes during the review session. The last main measure that needs to be considered in adopting quality assurance in the Scrum review process is the supporting tools. We have to consider this tool to support customer to carry out quality assurance activity, such as validating the requirements in each iteration review and effective documentation. We also have to think about the effective documentation could also bring difficulty, such as difficulty in control of backlog. So these are the three main measures that we have to consider to adopt a quality assurance mechanism in the Scrum review process. Okay, as a summary, this is the diagram explained on the quality assurance issues and also its measures and in Scrum review session and the effects in the iteration planning. Okay, so basically the quality assurance issues and its measures and the effects in the iteration planning are represented in this summary diagram, where we can see that from the problem obstacle that happen in Agile Scrum methodology towards adopting the quality assurance, the obstacle are the late validation and the ineffective way of getting feedback. And these two obstacles, we have to look into three main measures that perhaps can counter the obstacle, which is the customer availability, the communication medium, and also the supporting tool, in which the customer availability, we have to ensure that if the customer is available for the review session, so that the quality assurance can be done. It means that the validation follow as per time-based iteration plan. And for the second measure, if we ensure that the communication medium is appropriate, we can support the distributed customer to give the feedback. And also for the third measure, if we look into, we have to consider that by using an appropriate suitable supporting tools, perhaps it can reduce overhead and response time for the review process. So by look into these three main measures, perhaps the iteration planning can can be proceed smoothly, whereby the informed requirements prioritization for next increment can be identified and is the decision making process, and then the adjustment of requirement for next increment is manageable, and also the requirement flexibility management can be done. As conclusion, in Agile software development methodology, feedback from customer are crucial in order to ensure the quality of the product delivered meet the business goal. Thus, the main obstacle for adopting quality assurance are highlighted in this paper. Subsequently, few measures are identified concerning the issues discussed. The findings are very useful toward the development of our proposed approach, and currently we are working on a framework and tool that can take into account this finding. Okay, I would like to raise my acknowledgement to support from University Putra Malaysia, and personally I would like to thank my supervisor, Associate Professor Dr. Saadah binti Hassan. With that, I would end my presentation with thank you. Assalamualaikum.